Quick video on this Wing Home camera setup that I've put together. Basically just took a deer camera that you can easily buy on Amazon. There's all kinds of models. There's so many different ones, but they all have a few things in common that can make it easier to manage. And this is a contraption I put together that'll explain that. So what I got here, I got an old Army ammo can. These are waterproof. They have a rubber seal that goes around the top edge there. And inside that, I have a standard deer feeder battery. These are those 20 volt black. They're about 3 inches by 7 inches long and about 4 inches high. I've got one sitting in there, and the wires connecting to it come through here. So what I tried to do is really waterproof the whole rig so that no water will get in there. The battery will be fine. The battery will be out of the direct sun, and it'll last longer. Got a basic solar panel here. Again, you can buy this on Amazon. I'll put links to all the parts I bought in the description so you can find them. But this was a good solar panel from my perspective because all the metal protected the wiring, and I was able to drill a hole in the bottom of the ammo can here and put the wiring right into the ammo can, and again, keep everything from getting chewed on by a raccoon or something, or getting ruined by the UV. So where this rubber wire here is exposed a bit, I put some plastic, just flexible conduit stuff on top just to cover up from the sun, and a little grommet here to just try to seal as much water out as I can from this bucket. Put on this frame, scrap piece of metal thing that I found. I don't even know what this was from. I think this was like a pot holder, has 4 legs here. And then this was just another piece of pipe that was laying around, some steel pipe from an old fence post. So I just did a real crude weld here just to attach it. And that made a firm stand that I could put the camera on top. And it had the 4 legs, so it'd be pretty steady when I set it in the grass here. And I also served as a base to put the ammo can on. And I just put a strap. This isn't gonna last. The first thing to wear out on this rig is gonna be this strap from Harbor Freight. Just to hold it on there, because the UV is going to destroy this thing. It won't take long at all. UV wrecks everything out here. But I just needed something basic to hold it on to the structure there and keep that solar panel oriented the right direction, which for me is straight out over here, where I get the most sun aiming at it. And also wanted to configure it in a way that I could see my target. In this case, I've got a water source here that is providing water for deer and for any of the animals. They quickly find this stuff. This water comes through a hose that goes up to this contraption here, which I have another video on. I'll put a link to it. And this is a water guzzler, they call it. This captures water from this roof, and then it puts it into that bucket, and then the downward pressure from that barrel actually pushes it down, and it comes to there. So with a target like that, you're able to have your camera get a lot more activity. So let's take a look at the camera. This is a Wing Home model. I'll put the link to it in the Amazon source where I got it into the description. It's a real basic one, but they all have a similar thing in common, because what I didn't want to have to do was deal with all these batteries. These things take, I think this one takes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 12 batteries in this sucker, which is just a pain because it eats through them. You can buy rechargeables. Those don't last as long. It's just such a pain. So by using this connector here, which they all have, they'll take a DC in plug. And then here's my SD card under here. So they'll all take an SD in plug. And what that means is you can just plug that in and then go to a 12 volt DC source, which I drilled a hole in this pipe, ran my wire down, and it goes down to my battery that's inside the ammo can. So I don't ever have to feed this thing anything. And with the solar charger charging that battery will last, probably last 5-7 years before it completely dies and has to be replaced. And those batteries are cheap. They're like 14 bucks. So I just tried to wrap this again to keep it protected with some Gorilla Tape. And then I actually cut a slot here because to open this door up and change out the SD card, I'd have to unplug it every time, which was a bit of a pain. But I just put a little slot there so it'll easily close. You can see what I did here. It just closes like that, and then it locks tight. And not a lot of critters are getting in there. Getting a little bit of spiders sometimes, real minor, but it's not much. And as frequently as I'm clearing out the SD chip, it's been working out just fine. I can take a look inside here, make sure everything's going okay. And these lock pretty well closed, and it's very solid. I put some tie wraps just to hold it onto the post, so it's always getting power. I don't have to worry about that battery. That battery's big enough that even if its solar panel doesn't get a good charge on it, that camera's not going to kill it for days and days and days and days. I mean, it could be weeks, because that's a pretty large battery compared to the 12 AA's that it needs to run this thing. This wing home camera's been really good. It's got dual IR camera lenses on it, and a light sensor here. And those IR lights at night will light up the animals that it sees, so that you get the pictures in the dark. And it's been really good. Haven't had any issues with it. I've had a Bausch & Lomb in the past, gave me a lot of headache. It was unreliable, and this has been super reliable. So there you go. There's my camera rig. Highly recommend building something like this if you're trying to keep a low maintenance solution going for your deer cameras. And that's about it. Like I said, all the pieces and parts I bought on Amazon. I'll put links to those down below in the description. And I hope that helps. Have a great day.